Are you worried about the delay in the delivery of your remittances? Jamono Money Transfer is your only solution with more than 9 years experience in remittances services. It's accessible, reliable, affordable, and convenient. Jamono Money Transfer is affiliated with Ajay Guaranteed Trust Bank Limited, Mega Bank, Apps, Reliance Bank, and many others. You can send and receive your monies from friends and families both home and abroad through Jamono branches at various strategic locations in the country with high standard customer service. Please walk into any nearest Jamono branch for efficient and timely service delivery. For more information, you can visit its headquarters at Bursabi, right opposite Afrimed International Hospital, or call on the following numbers: +220 3103 050, +220 3103 051, or +220 3755 522.
Good afternoon, viewers. You are watching us live on Kairaba News Network. This is your weekly news recap that comes your way every Saturday. I am your host, Alkali Cham, and I am joined by my colleague. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Fangda Sizi. I am also a reporter here at Kairaba News Network. Today, I am here with Mr. Cham to review on some of the news stories and the trending issue here in the Gambia.
Father, how do you feel being with me on this platform today?
Well, this is the first time. I am a little bit nervous, but I will try and deliver to the best, inshallah.
Thank you so very much, viewers. Like I've said, you are on Kairaba News Network, watching us live on our weekly news recap show. In this recap, you will hear the reactions of the on the ban of the tricycles by the Gambia Police Force. Khalifa Sallah, a veteran politician who has retired, advises the National Assembly members to avoid partisan rivalry in the Parliament. Sida Jata also says 100,000 clothing allowance cannot be justified. He also talk about the government press release on fertilizer. The Brikama Area Council have signed a contract with the Jigo Construction to build a road at a cost of $10 million. We'll also talk about the police. The IGP has embarked on a tour to visit the security installations instituted by the Gambia Police Force. Fatumata, we look at our first story, which is the issue of fertilizer. We've seen recently the government of the Gambia have issued a press release highlighting their intervention to reduce the price of the fertilizer, which was pegged at $2,500 to $2,000. How do you feel? And what do you think is going to be the reaction from the farming communities?
Thank you, Mr. Cham, for that question. I think the government of the Gambia is late to do this. This should have been done earlier. Because if we take a look at some of our farmers here, especially in the rural areas, are ordinary people who that they are earning
rate. Their earning rate?
Their earning rate is very small. Mm-hmm. So to buy a fertilizer for that amount is something that will not be favorable to them because of the amount they are
receiving.
Yeah.
Okay. So others have welcomed this with mixed reaction because it was alleged that the fertilizer price was pegged at $700, and then it's now uncontrollably jumped to $2,500. That was not appreciated by people, and then they are saying that the government of the Gambia should still do what they can to reduce the price. But the president has instructed the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister of Finance to look into this fertilizer issue, in the interest of helping the farmers, to at least assuage their suffering. But what I believe in, Fatu, I guess the government alone cannot take care of the agricultural sector. As you know, agriculture is one of the backbones of our national economy. And it is everyone's business to intervene in boosting the productivity of our agriculture sector. And in doing this, we need to call in the private sector to chip in, Fatu. What do you think?
What I don't understand is that the government of the Gambia is so relaxed in empowering the farmers. They have to know that the farmers here are very poor. They can buy fertilizer at that large amount of money. Reducing the price to 700, I think it could have been better, because some of them will be access to it because they can provide it.
All right. So you're also of the view that the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, should still look at the current price. You know, so the 2005 the $500 reduction is still not enough. Yeah,
to me, it's still not enough. Definitely. If you take like I said, if you take a look at the rural area, the farmers there are poor. Okay. They can't afford that to pay 2005
okay.
For a bag of fertilizer. How can we sustain ourselves? How can we sustain ourselves? And yet the government is still making things hard on the farmers. Fertilizer should have been something that the farmers can get access to. Fertilizer should have been something that the farmers can get access to by reducing the price drastically, to a level that they can afford.
And the government of the Gambia also uses as an excuse to say the ongoing conflict and the economic situation of that rocks the world now. You have ongoing conflict between Ukraine and that of Russia may influence, the height, the escalation of the prices on commodities, on issues like on items like fertilizer. But I guess the government will look into this. This is the plight of the farmers and the plight of the of others that want to see farming attract huge attention from both the public sector and the private sector. So that is thank you so much for your contribution. We looked at the Side Jata. Currently, you have the members of the parliament. It's been said that 100,000 clothing allowance was going to be allocated to them, and some of them have appreciated that move. What do you feel? The national members of the parliament receiving $100,000 as their clothing allowance.
Mr. Cham, I am totally against of that, because the government of the Gambia should be developing the country instead of spending a huge amount of only a clothing allowance for 100,000. That is too much. I think they have to look into it again.
From the Standard newspaper, according to them, the former National Assembly member for Woodley West has said that the controversial 100,000 clothing allowance given to MPs is unjustifiable and completely deviates from the country's priority. The allocation has attracted condemnation from many quarters, but some NAMs have since defended it, describing it as very small compared to what other NAMs in the sub-region are getting. So these members that are in for the 100,000 clothing allowance to be allocated to them says that it is in fact a small amount of money compared to what Senegal MPs do get.
Like I said, I am totally against of it, because 100,000 is too much. It's too much. They have to look into it. Some of the NAMs that are in for it, I think, have to look and consider that the Gambia is a low income country. So they have to look into it. They have to look into it properly.
Okay. So what Side Jata says is that should not be the priority. When you look at the country, you have a lot of areas that government need to intervene. So, and we claim that we have no money. So spending such amount of money on such an allowance to him is unjustifiable. And then I think others have since defended this in the parliament. Do you believe that these members of the parliament indeed are there to serve the interests of our country?
this shows corruption.
That's okay. So it says again that Halif says, why should we be talking about clothing allowance for MPs? It is not justifiable. It sounds very funny to me to talk about clothing allowance for MPs because I have never heard about that anywhere. And even if it does exist in other countries, maybe they can afford to give clothing allowance to MPs, but we cannot. There are fundamental which are not addressed in the country because of lack of money. I think this statement is very appreciative that it comes from the a veteran politician that has been long since, struggling to ensure that the Gambia is improved economically. But then don't you think our MPs also need to look, good, in their proceedings?
Yeah, that's true. They have to look good, presentable. But if we take a look at this shows greediness and perhaps corruption. 100,000 is too much. The government has to look into this decision before it will be implemented.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Fatou. We also talk about these things that they call tricycles. We've seen recently the Gambia Police Force has banned the usage of the tricycles. Simply, they are alleged that they cause road. They are one of the contributing factors to the height of the traffic accident. Also, the law has not permitted the usage of the tricycles in this country.
Mr. Chairman, some of the drivers who drove these tricycles, I observed that they are foreigners. Okay. I once drove it, that's why I'm saying that, because the guy who was driving on that day was a Nigerian. Okay. Yeah. So, and also, well, it has a positive side though, because sometimes, like in some of the places at the KMC, passengers heavily depend on these tricycles for transportation. Okay. Yeah.
So, others frown at this, the decision has caused mixed feelings among the public. Some says that in fact they spent all of their life savings to buying this at a cost of $200,000, and now with the intention of repaying that within 6 months, and the government, the Gambia Police Force has banned the tricycles, and others says since then they've been going to work late because the busy highway. Yeah. The only solution to get into work a little early is by boarding these tricycles.
These tricycles. Yeah. For example, the students, some of them board these tricycles for them not to be late at school, or even some of the people that are working, they boarded these also for them not to be late at their work. So the government, the Gambia Police Force has to look at it once again.
And some suggest that the legislation has to change because it is nowhere in the constitution of the Gambia that authorized the usage of the tricycles. So but then some are challenging that let the legislation be changed to include the usage of this, to include that clause in order to authorize the tricycles to be used. Because right now, a lot of jobs have been cut as a result of this. And then they are now given up to December, those that have a valid driving license up to December to operate, but they are given a special route to apply.
I think that law has to be squashed from the legislature, because they are the one who makes law. Leave these tricycles to serve the needs of the public.
Okay, that's interesting. So I guess the Gambia Police Force, they are listening to the plight of the public. So it has to be the law against the law at the conflict with the needs and wants of the people. Yeah. So whatever is favorable, this is what will be authorized to be done. So thank you so very much. Fatu, one of your stories that is scripted by yourself, you've had an interaction with commercial drivers at Lamin Babylon, and they complain that their roads are immotorable in the sense that you have potholes on the way, and during the course of the rainy season, they tend to dodge those potholes in order to prevent them from spending on repairs.
Yeah. It's true that I was the one who covered the news. The Englishman said, "Seeing is believing." I went there and I saw the difficulties that they face. They even brought a car that I was in to see the situation of the roads there. These people really need a road. The roads are full of with water. I engaged some of the drivers. They said that some of the vehicles that they drove every day, it's not their own vehicles. Okay. So if some of the owners of the vehicles that they use, if some of the owners saw them in that water, they immediately call them and tell them that I don't want to see my car in that water again. Otherwise, if the car is damaged, you will pay it. Things like that. So
they want government to intervene.
Yeah, they want
try to rehabilitate those roads.
Yeah, they want the government to intervene and help in constructing a good route for them.
Okay, why those roads that the roads that is being considered to be dilapidated? Where does it lead to?
It leads to Babylon.
Babylon.
And Kombo Kerawan.
And those are all communities within within Lamen AN.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Roads and the Ministry of Construction should follow and also listen to the demands of these drivers that are struggling.
And some of them heavily depend on this driving. Okay. They earn a living through that. So the government, I think, really have to intervene and help these people. And
some says they've been planning the route for almost about 14 years.
Yes, 14 years, some 10 years. They heavily depend on this driving. So the government really have to help these people.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so very much. That will bring us to the Brikama Area Council awards contract to Jigo Construction. And Jigo Construction is owned by an individual that lives within Brikama. So it's a native of Brikama anyway. The construction will be facilitated at a cost of $10 million. That's a good move from our the Brikama Area Council. This is one of their social responsibilities to ensure that the people within their areas, you know, because building a road is improving communication.
Yeah, it does. The contract that the Brikama Area Council and the National Road Authority signed with Jigo, I think is a good initiative. This is something that will develop the community, and it is the fast movement of goods and services.
I guess the members of the Brikama Area Council could also listen to the plight of the drivers at Babylon.
Because some of these drivers, they said that they drove up to Brikama. Yeah.
Okay. So these are good steps, and I guess very soon things will happen.
Yeah, we'll change.
We also talk about currently the president has received in audience so many diplomats that has visited him at the office of the president, and that shows that the country is definitely improving their bilateral relationship with other countries in the world. So how did you feel as a Gambian seeing various countries that are even bigger than Gambia wanting to strengthen bilateral relationship with us that can improve communication, health, trade, a lot of things?
Mr. Jam, bilateral relationship with other countries is just in the form of, one can say, in the form of having a friendly relationship with other countries. I think bilateral relationship will bring good things to our country by creating jobs for young people, and also expanding some of them, expanding the market of some of the companies here. So I think this is a good initiative.
That's good. We look forward to seeing a better
So
working relationships and interventions because we should also question ourselves. What do we gain from this relationship with other countries? Does it improve our health sector? Does it improve our education sector? Because we need to collaborate in the areas that they do best, and then we also we also copy the best practice from them, and we can implement that in our country.
Yeah, Mr. Cham, who knows? We don't know whether the countries that we sign bilateral relationships, some of their health personnel may come here to invest.
Yeah,
so many of these might happen.
That's fine, because we need more investors to come to this country, and that can only be facilitated through such bilateral channels. Fatu, we also talk about recently the IGP, has visited various security installations in this country, and with this, he has advised the closure of certain police stations, which includes the police station at Bakau New Town and other areas, because he says they are not fit for purpose. But then this brings a mixed emotion among people to say that closing security installations is giving opportunity to criminals to strike the communities.
What the police IGP is doing, I think, is very good. In doing this tour, he's enlightening the people. I mean, telling them that the police are not here to sleep. They are here to work and ensure the safe security of the people. The tour doesn't he doesn't limit the tour to the urban area, but to the rural area as well. Right. So I think this tour will improve the
security situation of the country. All right. Thank you so very much, Fatu. What is your last statement on the show?
My final statement is please keep on watching our weekly review here at Kairaba News Network. Until then, bye.
We are on YouTube, Facebook, and other social media platforms. I was your host, Kairaba. See you again.